Good evening. It's going pretty hardcore. I'm tired.
Well, welcome to our show. This is Organ Angels, and we appreciate you taking the time to come on air with us tonight and kind of briefly share your story and getting it out there. So, thank you very much for doing that.
Oh, thank you guys very much, because there's been a lot of controversy with children with developmental needs being compared to children with mental health issues. And one of my main complaints as a parent is that my son is classic autistic. They kind of label him as high functioning because he can talk and move around a lot more than most kids, but they want to still give him psych medicines. And I've noticed a lot of issues my son has. He still has nosebleeds from the Vyvanse he was on, which is a heavy stimulant. It's almost like using street drugs.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's pretty intense, especially for a kid his age.
Yes, he's 12. And he has the mind of a 3 or 4-year-old when it comes to cognitive thinking. So danger, he doesn't understand. And dealing with repeating himself and social interaction, it's literally like talking to a robot on repeat. So the teachers here would rather just medicate him to make him easier to deal with than actually take the time out of their day to get to know him and his developmental delays. So I'm fighting right now because they want to give me a truancy because he's not medicated and he's not going to school because they require him medicated to go to school. Yet the program they had here for children with mental developmental issues, Dennis Developmental Center, he's too old for it. So they're not even going to help me. They told me to go to a psychiatrist. And I'm like, why? He's not bipolar or schizophrenic or any of those things. He needs therapy, not medication, you know?
Definitely. And that, I can only imagine how heartbreaking that is to watch your son day in, day out have that type of struggle, and then have to deal with individuals that are not understanding, even though they say that they are. That's got to be just the most frustrating feeling in the world to have.
Oh, it is, especially since I'm special needs too. They thought I was bipolar and schizophrenic in high school, and me and Brett went to the same high school.
Yes.
And I'm actually autistic. So when he knew me as a teenager, I was very angry because they had me on high doses of Depakote and Seroquel, and it made me have seizures. I have heart palpitations now. I'm heavy. I started gaining the weight in high school, and I can't get it off now because it's dead weight. And I would never want any kid to go through that because it tears your self-esteem down. It messes with your already delicate, hormones that you've got going on, because all teenagers are difficult. All of them are. I don't care.
I agree. I got two nephews that are at that age, so I totally get where you're coming from. So.
Right. No matter what medication you give them, they're going to be difficult. They're going to be depressed. They're going to feel they're fat. They're going to be angry, especially boys. Boys, when they hit puberty, their testosterone peaks and they're angry about everything.
Oh, okay? that's the truth. That's so much the truth. Yes.
And they always instantly want to blame it on disability and like, here you go, have him take this medication. I'm like, how is that going to help him deal with his emotions and mental and emotional intelligence? That doesn't do anything. He needs therapy, if anything, not a pill.
And some of those pills can be worse.
Oh yeah, just with all those pills out on the market today, just not really truly knowing the true outcome of what they'll actually do to you until you get older.
Yeah.
Right. So taking these medications, and I had my son at 20. Okay, so I don't think it was truly out of my system. I think they might have stored in my fat cells because I'm a heavy woman, like I said. And my son came out with this disability. Like we knew as soon as he was born, there was something wrong, or not wrong, different, should I say. He had to stimulate him to get him to eat. He would scream for hours hours, and this is a newborn, in a bathtub, like a baby tub. I would have to hold him the entire time I bathed him, and this went on until he was a year old. So he's always had difficulty adjusting to things like that. Swimming, he didn't actually start swimming until he was 5. He would climb on top of your head in the lakes, because here we are in Arkansas, we're a little bit more rural and natural and relaxed, you know. At 5, he actually started talking a little bit, and he regressed. So then that's when I got him tested, and we found out he was autistic. So, and autism not being really something they noticed here, it's been something they've been really kind of working on in the last 10 years. They're still not up to date with it at all. There's no programming here that I can find that help my son. They want you to sign a waiver, and there's a waiting list. I can't get on it because there's not even an application for it at this point. So.
Wow. So, if I can ask, like, what in terms of programs have you been able to talk to, if anything at all? What, so they've just been like turning you away, saying, no, we can't do this for you, or you gotta have this and this and this?
I can't even get a hold of anybody. That's the crazy part.
Okay, that's rough. That's really rough, especially with very limited resources from what you're saying. I know autism, from one thing I've come across, is it's very misunderstood, and just depending on what part of the country you're in, it just depends on how much available there is for you.
Right. One of my main issues is I waited 4 months for Dennis Developmental Center to get back to me about getting him an appointment. They never did. His PCP doctor from the Children's Hospital called me and told me that they couldn't help me.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Well, that's just absolutely amazing that things like that are happening, honestly.
And when he was in Indiana, that's when he had the Vyvanse issue. He was so underweight, he looked like he was 7 or 8 years old.
Wow.
It was literally like doing street drugs. He would pinch himself raw on his hands, on his lips. He wouldn't eat. It was very hard because he already has sensory issues as it is. So trying to get him to eat is really hard. Like, I have to either make spaghetti every night of the week, or pizza rolls, or cheeseburgers from McDonald's, nowhere else. They have to be plain. French fries, and occasionally a ham sandwich with mustard on it, no cheese. And that's his diet. So food stamps was an issue because they want his dad to provide verification, and I don't even know where this man is. I don't talk to him. He's just not someone I can talk to like that. Not only that, he's not reliable at all. So, you know, dealing with Nick, he will do things like flip people off, yell at them, threaten to spit on them, and these just people driving by, minding their own business. Or I have to worry about him going in the street. There's several times I've had to protect him from getting hit by a car because he was a wandering, running autistic there for a while. And that scared the hell out of me. So, yeah.
We have a client, it's similar, the story you're telling us, it's the exact same thing we go through with one of my clients.
Yeah, it's
tough.
I can't even begin to imagine, you know, because he can walk and talk just fine. People think he's normal until they actually start talking to him. Right. You know, I've had pedophiles like literally walk up onto my yard thinking he was older than he was and trying to talk to him, and I had to run them off my property. Yeah, you have to keep him fenced in. You have to hide things from him. It makes me a nervous wreck. I'm constantly watching him, constantly.
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I need help finding ways to keep my son safe.
Right.
And there's not a lot of programs here that do that.
Well, I just want to start off by telling you that no matter what, Brett and I will always have your back on
Yes.
this. We'll always support you through this no matter what. I know there's a distance between us and all.